Hello world! Today we're going to talk about 32 Ways to be a Champion in Business by Earvin Magic Johnson. You know he's a 5-time champion with the Los Angeles Lakers if you follow sports. You may know that he won 3 MVPs with the Los Angeles Lakers if you follow sports. But even if you don't follow sports, you should understand this book because he's a great businessman. He's got decades of experience. He was humble enough at the beginning to seek out the top business minds in America, ask them questions. When he traveled in his playing days, he would take time to set up business meetings. He wanted to develop business for people that were underserved, and he decided to do that in urban markets where there were opportunities where people were underserved. He gives a great story about that, his building a movie theater and how he wanted to do that. But he knew what his mission was. He didn't want to just make money, and people that he trusted when he was younger told him that if you just want to make money, all you'll end up is wanting to have more money. So he decided to listen to those people and cultivated a mission. He also talks about the guiding vision. Now, the guiding vision is a little bit different than the mission, as it explains the why you do what you do. And he gives an example of how his father gave him the guiding vision for their family when he was growing up. His father was an individual entrepreneur, so he learned what having the vision of getting work done and doing it the right way was from working with him as a youngster. So we talked about having your mission, having your guiding vision. Let's talk about your entrepreneurial passion right now. Let's talk about passion. So passion may separate somebody who's average at something from who's great at it. He wanted to better the lives of people who had always been neglected. And that was something that he was very passionate about. And he makes a point, and he uses this quote, "Dreaming is not doing." So we all have things that we're passionate about, or we'll say we vote for this cause, or we support people that fight for this cause. But if you're just dreaming about doing it, or saying, someday I'll do it, you're not passionate enough because you're not actually executing. Dreaming is not doing. Some of the reasons why we don't engage in those passions is because we have fears. So that leads us into conquering our fears. You may have all kind of personal insecurities about not being educated enough, not being experienced enough, not having the savvy, just not having a mind for networking or whatever. But conquer those fears and get out there, and that gets you closer. It's not always going to be easier, but one thing he talked about, just like the little kid that's running from the bully, the fear is usually worse than the fight itself. They look to other people for inspiration. He was able to go and take on some new challenges and overcome his fears. So he stretched out and beat his fears. He talks about seizing opportunities, and one of the things he talks about when he says seizing opportunities, the key is to shut up and listen. He uses a story about his mother telling him, "Hey, we have 2 ears and only 1 mouth. You should spend twice as much time listening as you do talking." He talks about how he listens to people, he listens to their stories. People come to him, pitch opportunities to him all the time, and he listens. He doesn't go along with everything, but he's always keeping a curious mind and an active mind to try to hear what's going on out there. Something about Magic Johnson where he seized opportunities others didn't. He was able to become the first player in the NBA, the National Basketball Association, to have his own licensing agreement, which simply means he was able to sell NBA licensed product and branding, t-shirts, hats, memorabilia, whatever the case may be, and he could get compensated for it. So even if he's playing against a chief rival like a Michael Jordan may have more points that day, may get more awards on the court, and he could actually say, "Hey, I'm happy for you because your sales are going to launch, and that's going to be, you're just putting money in my pocket." But in your life, where can you seize opportunities? Where are there things that you can uniquely identify and put into place? And so that's one of the cool things that he did. You're going to have to learn how to mitigate risk. You're going to know how to understand going ahead of time what are the things that are going to affect your business, what are the things that are going to affect your industry. He talks about mitigating risks. Magic provides 10 steps. I won't go through them now because I know it's too fast in this short time, but he gives you 10 steps into risk mitigation, and he kind of walks you through each thing, and it shows you how to do that. Taking the time to actually make a business plan, and not a strong one. You get a chance to meet somebody who may be willing to finance your operation. They want to understand how much money are you putting up. Have you done the financial homework? Have you understood the elements out there that are going to affect your business? Be thorough and creative to set your business plan apart. There are many people competing for resources, and a big point, one of his big takeaways is, don't come to somebody and ask them to put up all the money, because they're going to say you're not dedicated if you don't have any skin in the game. So when you talk about your business plan, talk about how much you're willing to invest, talk about the growth opportunities, and talk about those things. So, Magic Johnson has a lot of great ideas. It's a very well-read book. I think a lot of college students would benefit from it. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to benefit from it. I think a lot of business students across the country should read it. He knows his niche. He understands his strengths. He's smart enough to build on his strengths, and I hope you are as well. Read this book. Again, Magic Johnson's 32 Ways to be a Champion in Business. 32 Ways to be a Champion in Business. This is just a quick summary. I can't go over the whole book and do it justice in a few minutes, but like, subscribe, and share. It's useful. I think this is great information. And remember, 32 Ways to be a Champion in Business by Earvin Magic Johnson. It's very useful for you, and I think you should look into it. Thank you.